it's Vicky here today, and I am designing for Pink Fresh Studio, and I'm using the latest collection for Christmas, which is called Oh What Fun. And it really is a fun collection. You can see those papers there, they're just fantastic colours, and they just scream Christmas without being too in your face. So I absolutely love it. So I'm starting off with this piece of paper, which is called Snow Globes, I believe, and I'm using the reverse side of it because I want to create a paper strip Christmas tree on my layout. So this is green, and I thought it would work really well. So I just start by cutting some strips from the paper and then placing them along my page. I'm cutting them as I go so that I create sort of a triangular effect. So that's what I'm doing here. And I realise when I get to the top that I haven't cut steep enough on the triangle, so in a moment I will go back over that and reassess that triangle. There, you see, so the top one wasn't quite pointed enough for me, so I'm just going back and cutting some down, and that will make it more triangular there. And I can add an extra one then up there at the top. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I just arrange that in position and mark out where the tree is so that when I put some mixed media on here, I don't lose the shape too badly. So I've got some smooth white cardstock, and I'm just going to cover it with clear gesso so that I can use some of the liquid watercolours. And you'll watch me put this on, and then I did dry it, but you don't see that process. When I start to use the watercolours, though, it is dry, just so that you know that I didn't put it on top of wet gesso. Okay, so that's the page coated and dry. So I pull out the colours for the liquid watercolours, and this is called this is called Aquamarine, and I pull that one out. Okay, and what I do is I move it around the page with water. So I put some drops directly onto the page, and then I put some paint onto the page and spray it with water. And then I just move it around so that it sort of makes a triangular shape. So that's sort of a triangular shape, you can see there. So what I do is I dry that up with my heat tool, and you can see that just sort of leaves a sort of a messy watercolory background. And then I put on some sky blue, and I just did exactly the same process. Put on the sky blue, I squirted it with water, and then I moved it around. I just felt that the green was a little bit too green, so I just wanted to tone that down a little bit more and make it a bit more tealy colour. So I also dried that, and there we go. So there's my almost triangle. And I'm going to put these back on top. And what I do is I stick them down very lightly, and then first of all, I tried to stick it, but I realised I want to distress the edges. So I distress the edges of all the strips, and then I stick them down lightly and run them through my sewing machine. And we're going to skip through that process, and you'll see by the power video that is done. There, okay. So they're all sewn on with some coordinating thread, and I want to use this photo of me and my dog to look like one of the gifts at the bottom of the tree. So what I'm doing now is I've watered down some white acrylic paint, and that's going to give me a snow effect on my tree. And I really like how this technique works out. It just looks really pretty and sort of almost like lights and snow at the same time. And my paper's a bit warped because of all the water, but it'll be fine if I put it under a book for a while. So there's my photo at the bottom of the tree as one of the gifts. There's a paper with lots of gift boxes on, so I'm going to use that in a moment. So you'll see the effect I'm going for. So I pull out these puffy stickers, puffy phrases, and I put a couple of sprigs of pine tree on there, and a star at the top of the tree, of course. What is a Christmas tree without a star? And these are the chipboard stickers, so I pulled out a couple of these to use. My idea is just to have little pieces hanging on the tree. So I've got a stocking there and a little bell. And then this cut apart sheet, there's some little baubles on one of the pieces, and I thought they were the perfect size for this tree. So I'm going to skip through that as well, but I do cut those baubles out and stick those onto the tree as well. And there's a little sentiment on there that says sparkle and shine, which I add onto there so as not to waste it. I really like it. I like that font, it's sort of old-fashioned typewriter font. So I'm just pulling out some die cuts here and thinking about what I might use from there. There are a couple of baubles in there, a bell and a red bauble, which I use. A little red flower, which is really cute, sort of ties in with the hat that I'm wearing in the picture. Okay, and then here are the little gifts. This paper's called Christmas Gifts, and I cut a few of these out. So I'm going to layer these up with my photo so that it sort of is within the stack of gifts beneath the tree. So again, I cut through that so that you don't have to watch that whole process. But I left a very, very tiny white border around each gift just so that they stand out a bit more. So there we go. So I'm going to stack some up each side of the photo. Like that. And I think that looks quite sweet at the bottom there. Okay, so I'm going to glue them into a cluster, and I tried to do it in situ, but I make a bit of a mess, and then I decide to make the cluster and then put them back in. So I just want them to move all together so that I don't have to keep rearranging them. So the ones on that side and then the ones on the other side in the same way. So I like how my dog, he's not really keen on having his photo taken. I don't know why. So I just make him have his photo taken sometimes. So he looks completely bored. So here I'm just cutting a bit of the white border off of a couple of those baubles there, the flower and one of the baubles, because I just felt that the little ones that I'd cut out of the paper had only a small border, so I wanted them to match. So that's what I was doing there. And now I'm just making sure that I've got my final arrangement so that I can start to stick things down. I've got some of these chipboard stickers, some little stars from there, and a little tab that says Season Comforts. He was certainly comfortable. That's why I had to go to his level to have the photo. And I'm thinking about my title, and I like the green title, The Holiday Vibes. And so I take that off. I cut the whole thing out on its plastic so that I can move it around and see where I want to put it. And actually, looking at that, I do like it at the bottom, but I decide to put it up on the tree. So yeah, so I'm just going to map my photo. This little piece of paper here from the 6x6 paper pad has just got stamp marks on it, postal marks, so I just use that as a subtle border around the photo. And I'm going to put some foam on the back of there to raise that off the page. That's just regular sticky back foam that I get in local craft shop or on Amazon. So I'm sticking that down, and the photos I'm sticking to the side. So now I've got like a little stack with my photo as the centre gift. And I'm going to start sticking everything else down. Now the chipboard stickers I stick, and the puffy stickers, because it's onto mixed media, and mixed media is really not great for sticking pre-sticky things on. They tend to fall off. So you don't see me sticking the Holiday Vibes title, but I will be sticking that afterwards just to make sure, because there's nothing worse than opening your album and all the titles have fallen off. especially when one letter's fallen off and it's somehow fallen out of the album. Or is that just me? Because I've had that before, and that's really frustrating. So I'm going to stick the baubles onto foam so that they're raised off the page too. Not the chipboard ones because they're bulky anyway, but I am going to stick down the paper and die cut baubles onto foam. And I think I skip through that in just a minute so that you don't have to watch me do all of that. Here we go. So yep, skip through that. So everything's stuck down now. And I'm just pulled out this tag, and it has a sentiment on that says it's the most wonderful time of the year. So I cut those pieces out. I just want to use the sentiment, not the whole tag. So I play around with where I might put that on the page, and not quite happy with that, but I settle for a little position above the photo and move that holly there so that I can put it there. Stick that down there. Don't be afraid to cut up die cuts. If you'll only use part of it, then don't be afraid to cut it up and use it in a different way. Just makes them more versatile. So there you go, that's that down, and I'm going to stick the holly off to the side of the photo. Okay, we're getting near the end now. There are some stars on here which I just stick around the page. And off camera I also use some of the Jewels mix, Essentials Jewels mix, and I put some of the clear jewels on, and they're just really pretty, and finish it off with a bit of bling. But there's the final layout and some close-ups coming up as well. I hope it gives you some inspiration for Oh What Fun, and we very much look forward to seeing your layouts. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Vicki for Pink Fresh Studio. Until next time, bye bye.